Data management.
Introduction. In various fields, we need information in the form of numerical figures. Each figure of this kind is called an observation. The collection of all the observation is called data. Study the given example. 1. Runs made by a batsman in the last 10 test matches. 2. Marks scored by the students of your class in the mathematics unit test. 3. Number of story books read by each of your friends, etc. Data. A collection of numerical facts regarding a particular type of information is called data. Or the word data means information or set of given facts in numerical figures. Study the given example. 1. The number of children in 25 families. Family with 2 children. Family with 3 children. Family with 1 child. Family with 4 children. And so on. Frequency distribution. Frequency of an observation. The number of times a particular observation occurs in a given data is called its frequency. Note: for counting, we use tally marks 4, and the 5th tally mark is entered as 5 by crossing diagonally the 4 tally marks already entered. Study the given example.
Classification of data, in form of class intervals.
Class interval. Each of the groups 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, etc., is called a class interval. Limit. In the class interval 10 to 20, 10 is called the lower class limit and 20 is called the upper class limit. Class width or class size. This difference between the upper class limit and lower class limit is called the width or size of the class interval. Class mark. The mid-value of a class interval is called its class mark. Thus, the class mark of the class interval 10 to 20 is 10 plus 20 upon 2 is equal to 30 upon 2 is equal to 15. Class frequency. The frequency of a class interval is called its class frequency. Thus, the class frequency of the class interval 10 to 20 is 10. Histograms. Group data can be presented using histogram. Histogram is a type of bar diagram, where the class intervals are shown on the horizontal axis and the heights of the bars show the frequency of the class interval. Also, there is no gap between the bars as there is no gap between the class intervals. Study the given example. 1. Let us again consider the grouped frequency distribution of the marks obtained by 60 students in mathematics test. Two. The following graph is another histogram. From the bars of this histogram, we can answer the following questions. Question 1. How many teachers are of age 45 years or more but less than 50 years? Answer: 5. Question 2. How many teachers are of age less than 35 years? Answer: 15.
Bar graphs.
2. A bar graph, a display of information using bars of uniform width, their heights being proportional to the respective values. Study the given example. Where bar heights give the quantity for each category and bars are of equal width with equal gaps in between.
Circle chart or pie chart.
Pie chart. After discussed, obtain data to represent in tabular form, graphically form as bar graph, double bar graph. Now we start how to present obtained data in pie chart or circular graph. Understand by following example. Have you ever come across data represented in circular form? The time spent by a child during a day. These are called circle graphs. A circle graph shows the relationship between a whole and its parts. Here, the whole circle is divided into sectors. The size of each sector is proportional to the activity or information it represents. Study the given example. Method of draw a pie chart or circular graph. Step 1. Find the total of all the components. Step 2. Find the angles corresponding to different components by using the following formula. Angle is equal to value of one component upon total of all the components. Multiply 360 degrees. Step 3. Draw a circle of suitable radius. Step 4. Draw the angles calculated in Step 2 at the center of the circle. Study the given example. Probability. Experiment. An operation which can produce some well-defined outcomes is called an experiment. Note, there are certain experiments whose outcomes have an equal chance of occurring. Random experiment. An experiment in which all possible outcomes are known and the exact outcome cannot be predicted in advance, is called a random experiment. Equally likely. Outcomes of an experiment are equally likely if each has the same chance of occurring. Trial. When we perform an experiment, it is called a trial of the experiment. Event. Each outcome is called an event. Study the given example. A. In throwing a coin. 1. Head is the event of getting a head. 2. Tail is the event of getting a tail. B. In throwing two coins simultaneously. 1. Head is the event of getting head on each coin. 2. Head-tail is the event of getting head on first coin and tail on second coin. 3. Tail-head is the event of getting tail on first coin and head on second coin. 4. Tail-tail is the event of getting tail on each coin. C. In rolling a die. 1. Getting a number, say 4, is an event. 2. Getting an even number is an event containing 2, 4, 6. 3. Getting an odd number is an event containing 1, 3, 5. In the experiment of tossing a coin once, the number of possible outcomes is 2 head and tail.